Hello and welcome back to the Call of Duty League. We've got more matches to go as the online series for Dallas continues. Next up, we've got Minnesota versus Seattle, Joe. But before we get there, I do want to take a quick look through the bracket, see where things kind of stand now. Not a ton of surprises, but we're getting deeper into this tournament, bud.
Yeah, I think maybe one thing is Toronto goes all the way to a game 5, but two of the teams that we two of the teams that we thought were going to make it to the semifinals absolutely did, right? Dallas gets through, Chicago Huntsmen gets through. That's basically it. Now, who is going to join them? That's the big question. Up next, we have an elimination match. So the loser of this is out of the Dallas home series between two teams, maybe. Well, at least Minnesota, we didn't expect to be here.
Well, yes.
Well, tough first matchup.
Yeah.
Tough first round.
Let's talk about the keys to victory for Minnesota. But yeah, I think if you had to lock in two teams, yes, Empire and Huntsman, 100% locks, right? But Minnesota was like, I don't know, 90%. Like, you felt very good about them getting to the semifinal. So I think the early matchup was tough, but we'll see if they can get there. They've got to get past a Seattle team, which is 3-10 overall in Search and Destroy, and still look lost more often than not.
Yeah, and I mean, for Minnesota, you just have to forget about yesterday's loss. It was a very tough loss. You blow that Search and Destroy. Who knows what happens if you win that and tie this series up? And then close out games. I think that goes back to that Minnesota Search and Destroy. When you're in the lead, when you have them, just finish that game out.
Well, for Seattle, let's take a look at our keys to victory by Game Fuel. See what's going to be the big steps for them if they're going to take this one. I imagine we're going to be focusing on Search and Destroy because they have been horrendous. You know, it's funny, is Røkkr a little bit for getting full sailed up 5-0. They lose it 6-5, but they've won some Search and Destroys at least. Like, it hasn't been embarrassing. For Seattle, it's at the point it's been pathetic. I mean, they just have to get better. You thought the change of Pander might improve it with Enable out. Yes, maybe we've seen some improvements here and there in various modes, but they're not winning Search and Destroys. I don't care if they look better within one round. They got to win the map.
Yeah, I think, focusing on Search and Destroy, but it feels like we always touch on that, right? It feels like that's what we always touch on. So, I mean, if they can stay as consistent as we know this team can be in respawns, I think they'll be fine.
Well, okay, so do you think... all right, that's actually a good point because they're 3-10 in Search, which is horrendous, but maybe you expect that a little bit. But then they're 5-10 in Hardpoint. So do you think that's more the problem, is that they've been bad in a mode they should be good in?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, you can't be 3-10 in a game mode, right? Yeah. Like, you have to be around 50%. You cannot lose every single search. You can't lose to those top teams, right? You can't go 0-2. That's what happens. That's why you're in this spot. You're going to get pushed to a game 5. So you have to be able to win those, right? Around 50%. But yeah, I mean, 5-10 in Hardpoint, it doesn't help their case. That just sort of says when you're losing map 1, you go to that Search and Destroy, you lose map 2, you're already in an 0-2 hole. Now, that's not where you want to be. The best thing for them has been their domination, right? They're 6-3. Their game 3 has been solid. If they can clean the other game modes up, we know what this team can do.
Well, Joe, the other scary part of this for Seattle, not just getting over the hurdle of Search and Destroy in their hard point, they played Minnesota recently. They played at the Los Angeles event.
Twice.
They didn't play once. They played twice. And how did it go, Joe?
It didn't go well. It was a 3-0 and then a 3-1. So they improved. And I think that 3-1 as well, they won a Search and Destroy. So maybe a bit of surprise, but kind of what we were talking about. You can't always just rely on winning every single respawn against the top teams in the game. It's just difficult to do. You have to extend the series, and that's the key for me. For Seattle, try to get to a game 5, honestly. Like try to put the pressure on Minnesota, because I think Minnesota knows they were sort of expected to get out of this group.
Well, they were getting ready to get into the action. Seattle Surge versus your Minnesota Røkkr. Minnesota, maybe not the favorite coming into the event, but certainly someone we expected to go deep. As we take a look through these rosters for you right now, maybe for the new viewers not familiar with who's going to be playing on the map. But I don't know, man. I want to see something from Seattle. I feel whether it's been LAN, whether it's been online, it's been excuses and not a lot of improvement. They have the pedigree, the caliber to be a top team. I feel like it's been as much a mental hurdle as anything else. I just want to see his team perform. Like, I love Octane. I love App, Slack, Karma, Panda. Like, I love a lot of these players. I want to see them do well. They just haven't yet, man. They haven't.
Yeah, it just seems like it hasn't all clicked together. Like if we were back in the 4v4 days and I told you there was a team of Octane, Apathy, Slacked, and Karma, you'd probably say they're probably like a top 4, top 6 team in the game.
Yeah.
Like they would compete for titles right now, not in the position that they're in. I mean, all these guys are, well, not all of them, but you have world champions, multiple world champions on this team. We know how good Octane can be. I feel like Slacked is one of the most underrated players ever in Call of Duty. I mean, what that like a list of like the stats that came out, like just historically, Slack's stats are insane. Like the amount of times he places in that top 4 area. I mean, the guy is incredibly consistent. We just need to see more out of it. And I did think yesterday you saw a better performance out of Slacked. And then for Pander, I think this is an opportunity for him, right? When we talked about, being on a roster, when we were talking about Guerrillas, you had to perform at a good level when you're on a high caliber roster. This is it for Pander. Like, this is that one opportunity.
That's true. And we hopped out of the gameplay pretty quickly. Not sure what the issue was, but I didn't see Octane moving as we first hopped into the game. Oh, that was actually okay. I didn't realize that they were hopping into a warm up at first. I just saw
you're watching a warm up.
No, I wasn't really watching. I saw a couple players weren't playing. I was like, they might be having an issue right now. But yes, they're just in their warm up. Well, I saw an arrow not moving. I'm like, what is going on with these guys right now? But that's because they were hopping into a warm up before we actually get into the game. That makes a lot more sense for me. I've got a lot of feeds. I've got myself over here. I've got Joe up here. I've got gameplay in front of me. I saw them loading into the map, but that's they're not ready to rock yet. But no, Joe, I think
we're going to cave map 1.
I think you nailed it. Just kind of talking through things and what you think about Seattle. But can Minnesota get over the hump? Because I think you said yesterday that let's say you've been convinced by Empire in the sense of they won an event. You're still not sold exactly on if they can consistently beat your Huntsman or your FaZe. On the other end of it, when you talk about Minnesota, we know they can beat a FaZe. Now the question is more, can they win an event? It's kind of a different story, but a similar story maybe to Empire.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm 100% convinced that they can win an event yet, but I am convinced like they are a top 4, top 5 team. Like I do expect consistent results from them, just the way that they've played throughout this year. So for them, it's just sort of handle one match at a time. They have to get out of groups, right? They're going to have to win 2 matches today to get to that semifinal tomorrow. So before we can even talk about them potentially winning a tournament, they have to get to that semifinal first, where Dallas or Chicago is waiting for them.
All right, well, we're getting ready to hop into our third series of the day. We have 6 on the board for day 2 of the online Dallas home series. We'll get rocking right after this quick break.
Hardpoint is a respawn game mode in which teams fight for control over a neutral objective that rotates around the map throughout the course of the game. The first hardpoint has a 15-second delay before it activates. Once it does, teams can start earning points. To take control of the hardpoint, a team must have at least one of their players standing within its boundaries. As soon as a team takes control, the game timer freezes and the team starts earning points. The team in control earns 1 point per second, but if an enemy player jumps in with them, the point becomes contested. When the hardpoint is contested, the game timer resumes, but no points are scored by either team until only one remains on the hardpoint. On any given map, all of the hardpoints rotate every 60 seconds in a predetermined order. Expect the teams to have this rotation memorized and send players out early to secure the next objective ahead of their opponents. When a team is defending the hardpoint, keep your eyes on their assault rifle players. It's their job to cover all the lines of sight to the hardpoint to cut down anyone who tries to move in. When a team is attacking, look to the submachine gun players. It's on these quick, mobile gunners to lead the charge and clear a path for their teammates. The winner of Hardpoint is the first team to score 250 points, or the team that has the most points when the game timer runs out.
Hello and welcome back. Coming out of that Hardpoint explainer, I'll tell you what, Joe. Ben is voice of an angel. Just I want him to narrate my life. But that was for the new viewers out there, maybe not familiar with some of our game modes, kind of breaking down what Hardpoint will be for Game 1. Introduced all the way back in Black Ops 2 when we first saw it, the competitive side of things. It's become a staple of Call of Duty esports, and hopefully shortly here will be loaded into the map. Get ready to rock.
Yeah, I think it's one of our players' like favorite game mode, right? Just because how fast paced it is. But that means sometimes it can be a little difficult to watch. That's what that explainer is meant to help you out for those that are new to the COD League.
5 observers. That's what they're here for.
Yeah, that is also true. Yeah, they're a great squad.
To take you through Hardpoint, but just a shot of the players we're hopping into and out of to kind of show you as these guys get ready. I think they look like they're all at their setups, just ready to hop in. Yeah, I mean, when you think about pressure, it's interesting for me with this particular matchup because on one side of it, I think there's a lot of pressure on Minnesota from the standpoint that at the last event, you beat FaZe. Everyone now, if they didn't believe in you, believes in you to 100% certifiably be the fourth best team in the game, right? Maybe fifth. Like, you're right there. Yeah. You're one of the top teams in the game. There's pressure on you to, I think, come out here and perform, at least make it to a semifinal. But then the other side of things, Seattle's been horrendous. Like, they had barely any points. They haven't won anything. It's getting to the point now later. I know we're not even to the midway point of the season, but they need to start accruing points. So they're different types of pressure, obviously very different. And Seattle's a little bit more dangerous, but pressure nonetheless on both squads.
Yeah, it's one of those things I think for Minnesota, just how consistent can they be? Is it one of those things where they're just ahead of the game right now, or a team's going to catch up to them? That's what I thought early on, but then LA, I mean, they just continue to improve. So yeah, it's just how much further can they go? Can they win an event? Can they stay top 4 all year long? On the side of Seattle, you need something because we know that this team can be star-studded, especially their main AR and Octane.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, and this is what we've talked about on Hardpoints or any other show leading into this as we talk through it. It's like, yes, Octane is their superstar. Yes, he is their stud, but Octane is almost it from that standpoint. Like when you compare it, all right, let's just go 1-for-1 against a FaZe. Every player on that team could be the superstar for any team in this league. I only feel that way about Octane right now. Now, can you get impressive superstar type results out of App, out of Karma, out of Slack, map here, map there, series here, series there? But consistently, Octane is the only one that is in the conversation, is one of the best players in the game day in and day out for years.
Yeah, I mean, just look at that graphic, right? 4th overall KD, 2nd in respawn, 3rd in hardpoint KD, 4th in I mean, the guy, we know how talented he is. But back to your point, I think when you sort of go through the roster, there's 2 guys to me that have to step up, and that is Karma and Apathy. If you want to talk superstar performances, like those are the 2 to me. We know what Karma has done in the past. Can he get back to that level? How long have we been
saying that? How long have we been saying about Karma, about App?
I agree, but that's always been the thing with Apathy. It's sort of like, can he get consistent? He can take over games at any moment. We know he can have those maps, but it feels like this is a team where maybe he has to find a little bit more responsibility to sort of play, a little bit more for stats, right? Just try to help his teammates out, play for that slays. So maybe that's just what needs to happen. We saw a little bit out of Slats, but yeah, someone has to step up to help Octane.
Well, this is going to be a big test against Minnesota to see if they have what it takes to go up against a team that has been on the rise for the past couple of months. Minnesota looks so good. Can Octane and the boys, can they match up against them? We're going to get to this match as quickly as possible after this quick break. Okay, Joe, as we sit here and just wait to get into this series, I want to talk to you a little bit about Minnesota. And with this particular team, do you think it's like encouraging in the sense that they are so close, right? They're so close to maybe getting to a final, to winning a tournament. Or is it a little bit disheartening that maybe the community and even themselves don't know if they have what it takes to win right now?
I think it's encouraging. I mean, you look back at LA and what they were able to do. I mean, you beat Atlanta and you get Dallas to a game 5, right? I feel like they know they are right there, right? It would be a little bit different if they beat Atlanta. Then you have to play Dallas in the final and you get 3-0'd. Like, you just get smoked. That really wasn't the case. That final series was crazy. It was an intense one. So I think it's encouraging. I think they know how close they are. It's just at that point, when you know you're that close, you have to work that much harder.
Well, when we think about Minnesota too, like we talked about it on contesting the point, and like how are they able to beat FaZe, right? Like they are just at least play FaZe tough. As the last 2 times they lose in a game 5, then they win in a game 5. And we talked about whether it was the coaching, right? Whether they won it in the vetoes, whether it was the fact that they're the only team we've seen slow the pace down against FaZe, make FaZe not able to play at the speed they want to. If that, let's say that's a recipe for success, and they are slowing the game down, they are dictating the pace. Is that going to be a consistent way to beat the top teams, or do you think they need to get better at playing at that faster pace, the likes of your Huntsmen your face?
Well, I think how do you slow the game down, right, is the first question, and that comes down to a double AR setup. So that comes down to Assault and GatRX. When you saw them play against FaZe, those two perform well. If GatRX isn't putting up those numbers, if Assault isn't putting up great numbers, what happens? That is the big question. So when you go up against your Chicagos, where you have to have that matchup is Formal and Arcitys. When you go up against the likes of Dallas, when that matchup is Clay and Crim, how consistently can you win the double AR setups? That's the question, because that's how you slow the game down. The fact is when GatRX has a 1.2 to 1.4, he's playing kills, right? He's trying to make the game frustrating for Atlanta FaZe and their submachine guns, right? Just slow them down. It's the same thing with Assault. When you consistently run into those guys, that is just annoying to deal with. It's frustrating. But if your ARs are winning those one-on-ones and those lanes open up, that's when things are a little bit different. So that question just comes down to how can they perform consistently. When you talk about Assault and GatRX, I think this is another matchup where we'll see that, right? We're going to go to a cave hardpoint. How do they match up against the likes of Octane and Pander?
Yeah, we gassed up Octane so much before that last break. It'll be interesting to see what he does against two of the stronger ARs in the game. At least statistically, they've been great. The fact that they've pushed teams like FaZe the distance, that matchup will be, it'll be interesting because Octane has just bullied his way with some teams. I mean, I know they're not winning. I know they're not winning a lot of series. I know Seattle have not looked great, but Octane in particular has fried opposite ARs, completely dictated certain scenarios. So will he be able to do that here? Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I mean, it's a two-part attack, right? Your subs help your ARs, your ARs help your subs, right? It's a give and take thing. I mean, you go back and look at that Atlanta FaZe series. Yes, the ARs were going off, but then you had Alex, who, when it came to those close-range gunfights, he was doing his thing. So yeah, for Seattle, if Octane's going off, you hope someone like Apathy is going off. That's just going to make the game that much easier.
All right, well, I think I'm seeing on my screen, Joe, that we are getting ready.
We're getting into it, baby.
Map 1. Sorry, guys, for the delay. Thank you for your patience. Just making sure all players are in, strapped in, ready to go, as this is massively important for either team, right? Like the first two matches of the day we had were winners matches. We are now into an elimination match. Loser of this is done. Winner gets another chance to make it into the bracket play. Because remember, we only have, 4 teams entering Sunday. That's going to be it. After today, 4 teams are remaining with the change from the 2-day to 3-day format. This is everything for this event for both these squads.
Yeah, and we'll get it going. We'll see who's going to have another match later on tonight. So I'll get into another knockout match. But just starting on board with this team, just trying to work the hill, immediately going to get taken down. The goal for the Seattle Surge right now is keep the right side of that mini map, right? We're going to be rotating the cave east. That's going to be the second hill. So just try not to give up a lot of time. And when you rotate to that next hill, keep those spawns.
We say that at the start of mini hard points, like your Hackney, your cave.
Hey,
like
we're just trying to teach the people
I know.
baby. That's just what it is.
Like there is just that second hard point. A lot of these maps, man, you can get so much time early. But what will they be able to do? So far, Surge have been able to hold on to it. Playing inside a cave for now will be Pander. On the other side, pushing up bottom of the bridge will be Slacked. All the points so far in the opening hard point have gone to Røkkr, so good job getting some points, but how are they going to try and work this flip? Not going to get a flip when 4 of your players are going to go down. The last man going to be the guy inside of the hard point as GatRX continues to pick up the time. But now's the important transition.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, you'll take 33 seconds any day of the week. But you see on the mini-map how pushed up Apathy is. That's number 7 inside a cave. He's trying to lock this down. This is a 2-pronged attack. You have one player in GatRX trying to work the cliffside. The rest of his team, all 4 are through the middle. And I think that's where Octane just found a triple kill. I know the Observer's going to be a little frustrated about that as he's just able to line them on up. And that's going to be easy peasy for him. But the pressure is still here. Asim, though, the only one left for Minnesota on that push.
You got to think, with the way Octane's been playing and the way that some of your subs have been struggling maybe for Surge, you would love the early setups, right? How much easier is that scenario when you have Octane holding against people pushing him versus trying to get entries on a break? As he gets 3, dies, comes right off spawn, gets 2 more. Lead change to Seattle as they're looking to put up 50+ points on this particular hard point. Already on rotation to the other side, though, is Octane. Alex, though, I think is tucked away on one side of the broken building. So you got that number 7 and 1 on the minimap. Yeah, it's App and Alex that are just...
They're both on their bellies.
Yeah, look, they're so close.
Apathy's making a sand angel right now.
When's Alex gonna pop? Alex pops down. He's like, oh, you've been here the whole time? Alex gets the kill onto Apathy. And now maybe a chance for a pinch for Røkkr, but Seattle.
But I think Apathy got 2 kills. So I think Apathy got 2 kills. So this is actually great for Seattle because the trade was there for Alex. They're at least able to get some time, contest a little bit. But the hill positioning right now is so far so good for Seattle, considering they should have lost that rotation. So a good job by Apathy. Maybe some bad timing for Alex in Minnesota.
He finally pounced, but yeah, like you said, not before Apathy did the damage. Looking to push up to a 40-point lead. If we could take a look at the stats real quick. Karma, 11-5. One of the guys you said you really needed to have an impact, especially in the respawns. 12-5 now, as he's having a fantastic map. How are Octane and Pander doing from the AR spot? Both sitting around.
Well, I mean, everybody's doing well right now. Everybody's doing well. Plus, on Cave West rotation, they win it once again. So this is not looking good for Minnesota. That's 2 rotations in a row, or they don't have the control the last 10 seconds, so you have to win the rotation. They are just not. And I think it just comes down to the slaying department. 4 kills do come in, and maybe a breath of fresh air for Minnesota in some time.
Yeah, breath of something. Any kind of air in the lungs right now with how this has been going early. How much of this can they hold on Cave West? Assault POV is the Simtex will find a home. He's going to need some help, though. Relaying across to give him that help will be Alex. Tough gunfight, probably with no aim assist as the smoke still popped to his left. Alex, though, with the world in front of him, at least able to drop 2 before he's traded out.
Hey, you see on the mini-map number 3, that's got our X already rotating for Cliff. And remember, you and I were having that conversation, right? How does Minnesota slow Atlanta FaZe, a team like them, down? It was GodRx and Assault, and we saw on that scoreboard those two not having a great game. This time, they are getting shut down. I think it's just due to the ARs of Seattle. I've seen Slacked with an M4 a lot, so maybe they're running a 3 AR setup. Just, you know, we've seen that from time to time. Teams have different strategies with those M4s and how many they want to run. So maybe that's what Seattle's go-to is.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that and see how many they have in the kill feed. But now over to Outpost. It's Røkkr with the early setup. 3 kills through on the kill feed as well. GodRx just peppering in damage towards that Outpost bridge. As Seattle tries to get position, but they see he's got it lined up with an M4. They look for a different point of attack. And that's, I believe, because Pander's already into Cave. So they want to try and hit mid-map and through Cave. But they're just getting shut down everywhere as of now. Yeah,
and this was a 70-point game. This 70-point game just disappeared. So there we go. They're able to bounce on back. Maybe Cave West should have been a bigger lead for Seattle, right? Up to like maybe near 100 points. But they win the rotation, and everything that we were talking about negatively about it, it's only an 11-point game now.
Well, I think you saw the strengths of Surge when they were set up early, but when they were trying to break Outpost, I saw Octane get a pick with the M4, Pander get a pick with an M4, but they can't go. They can't push behind that, and they weren't able to really do anything after the opening kills, and maybe that's just due to the sheer number of ARs they have on the map. But Karma, the MP5, obviously has been rolling as he's 20-13. Can they respond now to a poor setup or a poor attempted break at Outpost by putting some points on the board back at mid-map is now into the second set of rotations. We'll see what they can do with it.
They're not really getting much time as well as Minnesota. They're holding that right side of a Cave. Karma and Octane able to find some kills. There's 10 seconds left. You see the arrows 1 and 5. That's Alex and Silly already getting set up. GodRx joining them now. Where is Seattle going to try and push them from? Looks like 3 going to hit this outpost. 2 going to go through middle of the map. So 2 players go down. They know exactly where they're going to spawn up. Now is when they have to get these kills. And they'll probably have to do it again as you see those spawns near that back tunnel.
Deficit starting to dwindle now. 38 seconds remaining. Inside of the point, Karma tries to flood in. Asim and Silly there to greet him. Silly gonna pull the pistol out as well, and there's a lovely triple. 2 with the M4, 1 with the pistol. Point is locked down. Silly with a multi-kill, and now a chance for more. 5 spree is up. The re-challenge out, but Slack with the pre-fire shuts him down. But for Røkkr, you get all the time, and there's the lead change coming through for Røkkr.
Yeah, just a good fundamental game for them, right? I mean, you obviously didn't have the great start, but when you finally start to win those rotations, the slaying starts to pick up a bit. You're able to lock down Outpost, for basically a full 50 to 60. Now KV's for another 50 to 60. Now it's Seattle's turn. This is when they have to be able to respond. Can they get a good hold here?
See if they can do it. Lead back to Surge. Karma with the M4 is sitting top well. Takes the first down, bit of a challenge, but not able to take it with him. But this seems to be one that's going to go down the stretch. Surge is trying to hold off from both sides. The collapse coming in now from Røkkr. Into the point goes Alex. As Røkkr get in for just a moment, and they get that broken side control for now. The first person to retreat over to Cape Side West, I believe, is going to be Octane. He's going to be trying to set up in a strong AR position for them at next. The first one to greet him will be Assault, as well as an AR battle inside a cave as the rest of the fight goes down over the final 15 seconds of the point.
Yeah, I like those, final 4 kills that Seattle's able to get, but then 2 of them go down. So what happens is they keep Minnesota off the hill for most of the scrap time, and because 2 of them go down, they sort of spawn up near the next hill. So it almost forces a free rotation for them. Røkkr, though, may have found an opening behind the Seattle Surge setup. Can he make the play? Can he just has to tell his teammates to wait for him. The first kill comes in. Karma's going to be up next. Røkkr able to find the second. Assault hits the front, and through that pinch, that is going to be an easy break for Minnesota. Now what else can he do?
And just think of it, I was highlighting how Octane got there first. Octane went to gunfight with Assault.
Everything was going well.
Octane gets set up inside of the hard point. He's crouched in the corner, in the great position to make a play. But one person gets through, and as soon as Octane drops, that's the first domino, and Røkkr are going to turn this into some lovely time. That's just an unfortunate sequence for Surge, who started out so strong, but now seem to be crumbling.
And it's not even about like the amount of time they're getting, but also look at the minimap. Because it was so deep into the hill, when there's 30 seconds left, Seattle knows they have to try to track it across the map. Because Minnesota did that from the front, they have control of outposts now, and we saw on the first rotation, Seattle was not able to break this.
Zero success. A pick with an AR and nothing they can do behind it. A pick with an AR and nothing they can do behind it. Is they just got bottlenecked. It was Røkkr in this position last time. Just holding with an M4, finding free picks. This time, though, Octane gets a multitude of picks. Karma and Slack soar in behind it. Is that going to be enough, though? I think 4 Røkkr players drop, but they still get the safe spot in the back. But you at least got some pressure on the hard point, right? You did that first step. You got him out of the hard point. You got to cross at mid-tunnel so they can't rally back in. It's a good job making sure they at least can't put the game away on this hard point, Joe.
Yeah, now though, we get to that tough part where we're going to rotate back to a middle hill. Minnesota can't win it here, but Seattle have to try to do 2 things at once. They have to try to keep Minnesota off all this time and also rotate towards that second hill or KVs, which we know is just so difficult to do. But can Seattle do it? Can they win this first map a hard point, or will it be Minnesota? The rotation comes in. Apathy and Karma are going to take 3 down, and look at that mini map. Seattle able to flip the spawns, but now can you keep Minnesota off for 26 seconds?
I'm going to be honest with you, it wasn't as much about Seattle flipping as the scene pushed all the way through cave and won a gunfight, I believe, with Pander at well, and then when all the teammates drop, it flipped. So if it ends up happening, at least what I saw on the minimap, it was a team pushing all the way through cave. That ended up being the issue, and he might have had a great pinch attack, and they might have been able to close the game out here. Just unfortunately, his entire team dropped around him. So this has turned into an opening now for Surge.
Yeah, now they did it. They're able to extend it. Still 20 seconds. I feel like you don't want to give this up and, let Minnesota be 4 or 5 seconds away from winning the game. So Apathy, he's going to take care of that. Able to find 1, deals with Røkkr on the hill.
I don't know if Panda realizes that him losing that gunfight to Seam was the best thing that could have happened. But no, honestly, he lost that, and then the spawn flipped, so it ended up being perfect. And now, no, you can't win it here if you're Surge, but a chance for a ton of time if they can get the hold. Røkkr desperately trying to break in.
They can win it. They can actually win it. Yeah, I mean, it's a few seconds, but they can win this map.
My math is not good. They can. You're right. They can't be barely any kind of contest, but they can close it out with just
but that one-on-one from a seam, he's able to win it, and that gives them the close spawn. That gives Minnesota the close spawn. So can they get in now? He's able to win it by this hop up. You see all the purple arrows. The problem is they're not getting any kills right now. 5 go down. Silly, the last member alive. Now Seattle can't win it here, but they should be able to win this rotation. You have a seam. Number 2 is trying to work across, and I think he was able to win 1 on Octane. still at the Old Hill apathy trying to stay up, but there's just so many fights going on both sides of the map because the rotation is so important right now.
Oh, the problem is they're going to be about 5
up.
points away from a win. They're going to be so close to closing this out. Seattle had to be border on flawless on that KV's hold. They weren't able to do so. A great break from Røkkr and Asim kind of made up for maybe a spawn flip blunder on the last hard point. Now, just 6 to go. Can they win it here? Surge have got to be perfect as they're trying to hold it down. Only 30 points needed for them to get the W, but that's going to be 4 down. That's going to be Røkkr into the hard point, and that more than likely is going to be a Røkkr W. There's a contest just at the last second. They haven't been able to win it yet, Joe.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? When you sort of gave up KVs when Asim's able to break through. It's just that you go to field, which we know can be pretty 50-50. Have we seen some great holds at that hill? Absolutely. It's just tougher, right? It's tougher to do because there's power positions on both sides. The smokes go down, but a great start for Seattle. But I think there was 2 Cave West hills that just did not go their way, and that's really the difference maker. If you look at that first rotation, if Cave West goes the way of Seattle, it's a 100-point lead. The outpost hold really doesn't make a difference, and then that one play of GodRx going all the way around, able to break the setup, that was, I think, really the deal breaker for the Seattle Surge.
Yeah, I want to watch back the final couple of minutes of that too, because I'm pretty sure Asim's position flipped them out. It's the reason they get put in a bad position, but then he wins a huge one-on-one at the next hard point to make sure
he goes
they can
big.
get the break and win the game. So he was doing it all, right or wrong. He was making big plays. So Minnesota will get the victory. They'll take it by 30 points, even though Seattle started out so strong. And now this is really terrifying if you're Surge, because we know they are a bad Surge team. They have been a bad, really kind of a bad hardpoint team as well, as they're 5-10 in that mode.
They've been a bad team. They've been a bad team.
You're right.
They've been a bad team, Haven.
You're right. They have been, but I think the hardpoint, though, is the one you got to win, because there's very little to rely on them in Search. I believe it's going to be, Arclaw for map 2?
Yeah, Arclaw peak for map 2, and go ahead.
So I hit up Reppin, because I think you said to me when we first saw it, you thought that they picked Arclaw of Minnesota based on like the data we got, and you said they were 0-0, and I was like, what? Like, why would they be picking something they were 0-0 on? It turned out it wasn't their pick, but I talked to Reppin, one of the coaches for Røkkr, a little bit about it, and he kind of said, we haven't played it yet, but it's a map that we always let go through. It's just either been map 5 in a series, so we haven't gotten to it, like it's ended in a 3-0 or 3-1 fashion, or the other team has gotten rid of it or not picked it. So it's not been that they don't want to play. He basically said any map that a sniper can make an impact, so any map GodRx can make an impact, they feel good about. You've seen him on Piccadilly, right? He's taken over that map with the sniper. They feel he can do that on a map like Arclaw. So even though they're 0-0, still a map they feel good on, is what I got from talking to him about it.
Yeah, but before we get to that, let's go ahead and take a look at our scuff play of the game. And of course, it's going to be GodRx making that play of the game. I'm sure it's going to be him on the flank, right? Breaking that hill. That was just such an important one. And with that, he breaks the setup of Seattle. And yeah, that was really the game. We knew that was a huge moment for the Seattle Surge. They had to rotate, just not able to do so. They let him slip through.
Yeah, I wanted to see how that happened. Like, how did he slip through? I want to see if I can pull this up, make sure I have it on my other monitor. I can see how he kind of got through.
Well, it wasn't that play, actually.
Okay, so this is the hold it outpost. This is the hold it outpost. Okay,
Yep.
okay. All right, well, we're talking about different plays. Well, to be fair, GodRx did have a couple of big ones. It's just not maybe the one that we thought it was going to be. But yeah, I mean, he had several big ones over the course of the match. GodRx, what did I pick him as at the beginning of the year? No, I didn't pick him as my MVP. I picked him as like my breakout star. Just
breakout star. Yeah.
Some people thought he broke out last year. I thought it was not a big enough body of work to call him the breakout player yet, because he really was just disgusting the final couple events.
Last like 2-3 events.
Yeah, so he was really, really good. I thought this was the year that he cemented himself as one of the best players in the game, and I think so far, I don't think you could argue that. He absolutely has.
Yeah, he's been pretty consistent for Minnesota from start to finish. And I think the important thing for them is, I mean, when you're 0-0 on Arclaw Peak, the best thing is there's no film to study you, right? Like, what is Seattle going to do? Maybe this has been a comfortable pick for them, but as they said, they haven't gotten there. That is fantastic for them, because how are you going to prep for them?
Well, yeah, there's a couple sides to it. Yeah, there's no footage of it, but then yeah, you don't have the reps on it, so maybe they like it less than they think they do. They haven't played it a whole lot, but it'll be interesting to see. Like, are they gonna have some mistakes because they don't have a lot of reps on it, or is GodRx gonna take over with the sniper rifle? We'll see what they're able to do on it. So Minnesota Røkkr 0-0 on this map and mode, but Seattle Surge, I don't care if we were playing maps from Black Ops 2. I don't think they'd win Search and Destroy anywhere.
Yeah, probably not.
And this is, we're highlighting the sniper just because he's been so good with it, but they haven't seen them show anything at A thus far. It's a pretty split push from Surge. They've got what? Pressure out towards outer B, up mid-map. They were showing it A for a moment, and now the hit begins. But the first blood comes through from the team. Silly follows it up, and numbers instantly for Røkkr.
Well, I think the early thing is, right, if you don't show anything early on towards A, like there's no smokes, there's no nades down when there's an A stack, I mean, instantly Minnesota is going to quick rotate off of that. And when you don't have dead silence early on in this game, it's tough to work this B site unless you catch them off guard. But the early rotation gives them that advantage. Karma, though, able to make this a 3v3.
Under 30 seconds to go. 3v2 now for Røkkr. Karma and Octane going to be the ones that have to make the clutch. They've got to try and work this plant. They've now gotten into B, but you can see those purple arrows just ready to pounce as they've got this house surrounded. Octane falls, all on Karma, set up behind cover, but there's sheerly too many numbers here for Røkkr. Round to Røkkr.
Yeah, a nice start for them. Like I said, they stack A. They don't see anything. They early rotate, a couple of kills go down, and well, just with the time, they knew they had to force themselves into that B site, and they're set up for it.
So far, so good for Røkkr. As they're looking to get in to another semifinal. They've been so consistent at getting to that position. You saw the defense. Now let's take a look at the offense. Shocking. GodRx sniper in hand yet again, and there's the pick. Reads Octane like a book, has the angle early, hits the shot. First blood, Røkkr. Man advantage, Røkkr.
And you know GodRx, he loves this matchup, right? Because his old duo and Pander's on the other side. Great friends with Octane as well, so you know he's having fun.
Well, especially if he's winning. He's probably having a whole hell of a lot more fun.
Yeah. It's always fun to win.
Yeah. Especially when there's something added to it like that. Nice shots, though, from Karma as he's playing from the back ditch. Assault from GodRx alongside Silly. Going to have to try and bring it back into 3v4. It's been a great job from Surge. You lose Octane, and now suddenly you have numbers. This has been a huge response. But now time's starting to dwindle, and Bomb is down. And look where Bomb is down. Like, Røkkr are screwed. And now the flank is coming in. Two players going to be pushing through that mid connector. Unless Assault somehow World Stars both, this round should be over. There is no World Star. Assault is dead.
That silence.
GodRx now has to make the play.
Oh, well, he's going to World Star Pander. Now it's a 1v1. He has time. He knows where Slack is as well. But Slack's going to take him down. Almost makes the play with the dead silence pop. But that kill that Karma was able to get on the bomb planter, I think was really the round. Because if Minnesota, they get that bomb down, you know where GodRx is going with that sniper. He's going to back up to his broken building. They're going to watch over it. They know that they have to either flank or, try to retake it from the site. With that 4-on-3.
Wait, so how many kills did he
a little
get?
bit scary.
I was so focused on Assault and like the flank coming in through mid. How did that even get to a 1 versus 1?
Who, GodRx?
Yeah.
Or Assault?
Well, I guess did Assault get a couple before he died?
He got one.
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
it was a 2v1.
Okay, I'll be honest with you, I was just staring at the minimap as they pushed, and I was like, oh, this round's over in my head is all I was thinking, and then suddenly like, oh my god, it's a 1v1.
But look at the bottom left. Like, look again. There's no presence at A from Seattle. Look at how fast the rotation is. You have one player who's going to stay in Assault. He's going to play for info. The rest of Minnesota, they're just going to play from their building.
Pander just hoping somebody peeks him at the back barrel, but Slacked finds a kill at the same time. Alex on the board as well. 4 versus 4. Slack starting to work his way up, but that is going to be bombed down. is by the site. You've got multiple players here to make a play behind it, but waiting up top will be Alex. Does he find the timing to pounce? Dead silence is pop, so he's got dead silence to work with to make this play.
Trying to find the right time. As you said, has that deady pop. Maybe spotted Octane. He knows where Octane is. Gonna take him down. Now it's a 4 versus 2. They still have some time to work with. Just have to use their numbers, and they're doing it great right now. 1v3 for Karma. The bomb is also planted the backside, so that is just not good for him.
They're on it.
The nade out front as well, and yeah, that's a tough position.
Yeah, I like
that.
that.
But Seattle, they go back to the same offensive round, right? Just no presence at A. Minnesota, they stack it. They don't see anything come through. It's a fast rotate. They are just telegraphing their offense right now.
So is that the biggest issue you're seeing right now for Seattle? Just too predictable on offense?
I mean, listen, like, offense is difficult on this map. Right? We know that, right? But you're making it even easier by showing absolutely nothing at the A site.
All right. We'll see if they change it up in their third offense. But first,
I assume they will.
Turn.
Yeah, I'm going to say they will.
But then if you and I think they will, what do you think Røkkr's thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's been all slack so far for Surge. He's got 5 kills. Octane not going to peek the same spot this time. GodRx is ready for it again.
Slack gets into a great position inside Broken. Yes, Octane watching over him. Octane almost gets caught. GodRx still just trying to find a pick, but here comes the push from Minnesota. I mean, they could avoid Broken. That'd be big, right? Because that's where Slack is. And I think they are. They are just pushing through the trench right now.
Spot 1 deep. Some ambitious shots at range there from Silly, but it's the frag grenade
why not?
from Assault that's going to connect. Little is Silly now that Octane is just laying down right above him. It's Karma that'll be holding the bag.
It's a big kill middle of the map. Both players trying to stay alive, but Alex is able to win it. So now the rotation is open if they want to hit it. But Octane, he pops up, is able to find the bomb carrier. So now with 25 seconds left, Minnesota has to get the plant once again. As soon as that bomb planter goes down, it's so difficult to get back up to the site because you've used all of your nades. You used all your utility to get to that point.
Alex, perhaps a miracle. Are they going to let him get the plant down? It's GodRx looking over him. It'll be 2v2. The support is there, but Alex can't get away from the site. Now going to be 1v2 for GodRx. He's backed it up the Broken. Pander has the angle. Pander finds the kill. And that's a big defensive round win for Surge.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a little bit scary, but Octane just stayed prone right under that mound the entire time. So when the smokes go down, he's able to find 2 kills, and one's on the bomb planter. And again, what I'm talking about is typically you use your first set of nades maybe to find a pick or just sort of, you know, gain some information, right? Because Assault was able to find Slacked inside Broken. You can see that dead body right there. The second set is to execute on the bomb site, right? It's to get that bomb down. In both Minnesota offensive rounds, as soon as they've gotten up to that point, that's when they've gotten taken down.
So far, pretty even, I believe, from the first blood standpoint. It's back and forth, and the score line reflects that. But now let's see. What does Surge do on offense, Joe? Do they change it up?
I bet you they go A. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. Yeah, okay.
Or at least sending 3 towards A, so they're showing something. GodRx is going to be set up with the sniper, though, so that's the only problem. You want to hit A, you got to deal with GodRx, one of the better snipers currently in the game. I think Octane had the angle with his snipe in the back.
Okay,
but...
so I like this. This might be a split off to B. There we go. So it's something a little bit different. You show a lot A, you use those smokes to just hit the middle cut and go towards
I
B.
think that's
and
perfect.
now they have the man advantage.
Well, you said they need to go. What did we say? Minnesota's probably expecting the same thing, so I like that. They show A, they hit mid cut. Just some mind games, right? Rock, paper, scissors. Just trying to take a gamble and get on through, and it's going to work. Now, they've been into this B building multiple times, but just never with the numbers. Assault tries to hit the wall bang to the window, but can't quite do it. Here comes the breakdown. 2 are going to fall. Things seem to be falling apart. Assault can't quite finish the kill, but he wins a nasty one. He's able to take out Octane, and suddenly it's a 2 versus 2. Surge can get B-side control. They just can't win it from there. Pander will win one in the back. GodRx now left alone in a 1v2. 25 seconds to work with.
Karma's still up there. Yeah, Karma's still in his house, so he's just watching the bomb defuse. He has middle of the map. Yeah, it's Karma's house.
I like that. Karma's
He's
house.
just hanging out.
It's not Grandma's house. It's Karma's house.
Yeah, it's Karma's house. He's in his house.
Oh, easy pick there for Karma.
But yeah, like, I mean, they switch it up, right? Sort of what we talked about. B wasn't working well, so they show a lot towards A. They just hit the middle of the cut. The one player mid statue, he's the one that can shut that round down. If he's statue and he expects it, he gets 1 or 2 kills. The round's probably done. But that doesn't happen in Seattle with a big offense.
Looks like it's right up mid now for Røkkr. Slack gonna have his work cut out for him. He'll likely be the entry man. But he's just gonna back it up, play with his teammates. They've got 2 eyes on the man. Slack and Karma, they've got the spot, but Apathy will be the first to drop. Asim pushed up to an aggressive position now with Alex. Right into the B building they go. It's Panda at the window. He's at least able to take down one before he drops, but so quickly it's just Octane left on an island. They'll try to bring it back in this 1v3. And not gonna be able to do it. The Assault takes him over the fence.
Yeah, nice clean round out of Minnesota. We even had a little Copper appearance. I like that.
Oh, is that getting picked up? Oh, he's fired up. I don't know if he has a friend over or what, bro.
Dude, I love it. I think Louis was talking earlier, too.
Copper's
so,
a beast,
the dogs
bro.
just get into it.
Dude, it could be anything, man. If a fly gets in, like a fly gets in the door as I open the back door, he goes insane. Like, it doesn't take much.
What do you call him? Sky races?
Sky races, bro. He just starts losing
he loves those.
Losing it. So for all I know, a fly got in our
will
apartment.
get in my house.
Yeah, no, he will hunt it all day long until it's dead. Guy thinks he's a cat, man. All right, well, 3-3. We'll see if Copper has any more vocals. Great.
Seattle just slowing things down. But the nades are going to catch him. It looks like there was a trophy down, but I don't know where Apathy got caught, or maybe just the timing of it. That stinks.
So last time they do that push back towards B, it looks like they wanted to commit to A this time around. They're trying. But GodRx still holding it. Octane looking for an angle with a sniper on the other end of things.
Yeah, this is just almost impossible to do now, right? With 30 seconds left to try to enter a site, but they're doing it.
Yeah, right as you said that, they go flying out and they get 2 kills, but GodRx is still there. Hits 2 with the snipe. Octane, the opposite sniper, last alive. Now in a 1 versus 3. Now, maybe you can say it's impossible. 20 seconds to go.
Okay.
GodRx, bang, bang, bang. Takes down 3 to close out the round. The snipe on point.
Yeah, I mean, just with 30 seconds left in a 3v5, it's just so difficult because at that point, you're a minute in. You've probably used most of your tacticals. You've probably used most of your lethals. So you're going to have to use your guns to open things up. And they are able to find 2. But the numbers advantage just a little too strong for Minnesota.
I don't know what's getting
and the sniper as well.
What's not, but Copper is making some weird sounds in the living room, bro. He does.
No, we haven't
okay. He does this thing when he gets his toy in his mouth where he goes like. I just keep hearing it. I'm like, please don't get picked up.
What was it? Can you try? Can you do that one? Okay.
Yeah, just like that. Just
I like that.
Yeah.
just like that. All right.
Oh Lord. 4-3 now.
All right, so you see the arrows. That's Assault and Silly. They started off on the A site, and all they were doing was throwing nades over towards the A side. So you see the rotation. It's just a little bit more delayed, just in case there was like a bit of a split push that we saw earlier. But 3 players for Minnesota. They're going to get inside the B house now, and now you have a nice execution. They should be able to get this bomb down.
Slack has Dead Silence popped. He's gotten into the top window from the backside. Waiting on his teammates to get in position. Dead Silence, though, now going to pop out. He has found an MP5 to use, which might be a little bit better in this scenario, but no Dead Silence. They're going to be ready for him. He was hoping his teammates can make a play at the front. He's going to fly behind the grenade. That is not a fun gunfight. That is not a fun gunfight with that metal post there on the steps. Like, you could tell that was... And the bar for them to get behind. Not easy. Not easy. Another round of Minnesota.
Yeah, that bomb site, listen, it's tough to get into it, but if the bomb gets planted, it is tougher for the defense to retake it.
Yeah, you saw Slack try to shoot through a wooden post and a desk. Karma tried to just hammer right on through a door and make the play. It's difficult. Come on, Seattle. You can do this.
Yeah, not looking good.
No, they can do it, Joe. You gotta believe.
Not looking good right now.
You gotta believe. It's the power of thought that can get them to a search and destroy win.
I believe when we go to a game 3, they have a good shot because they're 3-0 on Gunrunner domination. But
Joe.
this map, I really wasn't believing.
Apathy through the smoke. No dead silence, but he's worked his way up to the rock inside a ditch.
A bit of a faster round, and the way that Minnesota's playing it, they're playing so deep back towards this hotel. I mean, the bomb site's open if they have another smoke and want to rotate it back, but it looks like they're just going to go. They're going to try to fly up the trench, and that might be the wrong decision to see him on a 5 spree able to find that kill.
Yeah, 3 players inside a trench. I mean, it's not the
just sort of
most
waiting
fun
for it.
spot. Now that they're down in numbers, like, this is impossible. They're just getting pinned. This should be the final round. They come soaring out. Last guy up will be Pander, 1v3. Seattle search to destroy lives depend on it. Okay, buddy.
Get it, Copper. Whatever it is, get it.
I think our cat's sister's over, so he's probably fired up. He's excited. He gets excited to see new people. Pander's taking down 1. 15 secondes to go.
Problem is he has to plant.
Don't worry, it's Pander, dude. He's
playing this.
Panderific.
No. You still have to plant. That doesn't matter what
he's
your
a
name is. You
beast.
still have to plant the bomb. And he's gonna get it down in time, but
dare
one
you
player is
question
gonna peek.
How dare you question it? Okay, he's dead.
That's the game. That's the game, Clint.
Yeah, it is. It is. So the search to destroy woes for Seattle continue. They're going to go down 0-2 in this one early. Minnesota, despite the fact we haven't seen them play this yet on land or online outside of scrims, they get the 6-3 victory, and they look strong. I mean, the teamwork just seems to be on point for Røkkr. They're clicking for sure.
Yeah, it's just a little thing. It's some small fundamentals that you can just see. Minnesota is ahead of Seattle right now. I mean, Seattle played it close, just like they did game 1 up until a point, and then I just think Minnesota took over. They made a few adjustments. They were ready for what Seattle was throwing at them.
They absolutely were. Wait, so that would be for Røkkr. Would they be in semifinal every tournament, right? Because they beat FaZe, they lost to FaZe. If they win this, they get back to a semi. I mean, they've been consistently getting to the semifinal, right? I don't have the overall results in front of me, but they've just been kind of a staple for that position. But can they get further past that? But before that, they have to close out this series. You mentioned what? The Dom?
Seattle's
3-0. Well, yeah, to win this series, another one. Yeah, correct. But
I mean, they're 3-0 on Gunrunner is Seattle, so one of their better domination maps.
Okay. Well, if Seattle are going to bring it back in this series, the reverse sweep starts in this map 3. We're going to hop to the domination right after this quick break.
Call of Duty League is brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile. Stay connected to what matters most with the best value in wireless.
Hello and welcome back to Røkkr vs. Surge. Before we get into our third match, we are going to take a look at the U.S. Army tactical play, and it's a big matchup we've kind of been hyping up since the beginning of this. It's Octane going up against Røkkr. Røkkr had his number in a couple of situations, but Røkkr is snipes, man. I mean, that was what Reppin, the coach, was talking about. He's like, any map where we think he can snipe, we feel comfortable. And you got a good example of that as he hit 3 to close out a round. He got a quick peek, early pick onto Octane and another. The man's nasty.
Yeah, I just think in general, like, our Claw Peak just sort of plays to their strengths, right? I mean, we talked about them slowing the game down, playing around their ARs. They have great assault rifle players. Yeah, and if Røkkr is able to snipe this way, this is going to be a good map for Minnesota, and it was.
And it's interesting, you know, you mentioned that Røkkr and Panda and Octane have kind of been friends, and Røkkr's playstyle, I mean, he's kind of been, I mean, I'm not hearing this from him, but I would think he's sort of been aspiring to beat Octane. I mean, Octane has been consistently one of the top players in ARs in the game. Røkkr is trying to get to that. He's been competing for a long time, but now at his best, where we're including him, the fact that we are comparing him to Octane, I think talks about how far Røkkr has come. Because now if you were drafting a team and you were going to pick one, I think any logical person would still take Octane right now because he's been at the top of his craft for years and years and years. But Røkkr is getting to that point, man. He's getting to the point where you're comparing him to Octane. He's been very, very good this year. We talk about just the last, 6 to 8 months. When you include the end of last year and this year, he's been an absolute stud.
Well, I mean, the good thing is if you're doing a draft and we're playing this game, you could probably pick both because Røkkr, you know, he runs flex, right? He runs that MP5. So that could be a scary duo if they were ever to team up. Maybe we'll see that one day. But yeah, I mean, the guy's putting up ridiculous stats. Like week in and week out, he's just doing ridiculous things. And I just think, though, that's just his team, right? His team's setting him up. He feels comfortable. He knows how he wants to play the game. He knows how his team wants to play the game. It's sort of just like, what do I have to do? What is my objective on the map? If that's what it is, if it's to get a 1.2 and 1.3, then I got it. I know exactly where I want to be.
It's been interesting for me. While you were kind of walking through that, I was taking a look at some of the player cams. I had them up on my other monitor, and it's been funny kind of seeing the differences, right? Like you've got some where it seems like all 5 are in their bedrooms at home or their apartment. You've got some that are all playing from their office or studio, like we saw with the Huntsmen. Like it's just so different, man. It's wild what we're trying to do with this online broadcast versus when you see them all on main stage, all on LAN. Like how different? How different is it as a player, Joe? Like, you've been there, right? Like you've played at a major LAN, then had to play at home. Like how different is it? How do you get ramped up to play like you're at LAN?
Dude, I mean, it's a mindset. I mean, you know, sort of like if there's a tournament, it's just a different mindset than like practice. But I think for me, it was always better when I was around my teammates. That just sort of helped me. I think Seattle might be one of like the few teams that like they have players sort of all over the country, right? For the most part, you have teams in like team apartments or, you know, team facilities. For Seattle, it's way different. Like you have Octane in LA, you have Apathy in Miami. Like it is not probably what they wanted.
Well, it's weird too because a lot of the teams with like younger players that maybe don't have as established of lives, you could just relocate. You could all get in the same spot. But when you think about it, I mean, think about Karma, you know, wife, child. You think about Apathy, wife, child, just got married, a baby on the way. Like
had a baby. No, just had it.
Just literally had a baby. It's like you can't just like all pick up and like maybe get in the same area. It's a little bit different. I'm curious though, if this year goes on and you find out the whole year is going to be online, like are there any changes to that? With regards to their location, what they're able to do. But we'll see. But as it stands, though, it's the map 3. You talked about Surge being 3-0 on this particular map. Even though they've struggled this year, they have some maps and modes they've been strong at, this being one of them. Unfortunately for them, though, Røkkr have been kind of the whole package. Like they've been pretty strong in all maps and modes.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one game mode that we saw when we took a look at the quick scope that the Seattle had success. They're 6-3 in domination. I think that's just because like they're all veterans, right? They all understand they've played domination before. It's, you know, slows the game down a little bit. It's again just something I think they're used to with their play styles. But the Minnesota side, like you said, they've been pretty solid at everything. Looking at this one, they're 1-1, so not a map they play too often, but they're still pretty solid.
Yeah, just not that many maps you look at them and they're like, you know, 0-3, and you're like, oh, they are struggling. But Minnesota, we'll see if they can close out the series here in a 3-0 fashion. They're firmly in control of this best of 5 thus far. Let's go to an Astro Gaming listen-in with the Minnesota Røkkr.
He 3'd hander. I mean, what's the secret part on him? That's what I like. I like that.
Good job.
Yo, he's like
They might want deep.
They already backed up.
Yeah, they already backed up. They already backed up.
I'm
Light, statement, light.
2A.
One light's going PT1.
I don't see anyone back with you. I flash checked it.
Where's your ultimate name, bro?
Yeah.
Could be great.
Where?
I need help you guys.
Coming.
Is that?
I got one tree. Good call.
Inside you and green. You, that green.
Dead.
We're dead.
I'm pushing some trees.
You're pushing out.
I'm pushing some trees. Yeah.
P3 sitting here. Yeah, P3 sitting here, dead.
Nice, good job.
One or two still spawn here. They're just start flipping them.
Oh my god.
I see another one, dark or light.
They're in the deep.
I think that my ult spawn is not think they are.
You guys tap it up to go.
Yeah, I'm looking around. I'm looking how wide they go. Top train, I got one.
Touching trees again.
Against that buller out.
I'll invent now. Boiler, cream it.
Invent him, yeah. He's out. He's going be fast.
Yeah,
First tree,
nothing.
Wait.
Okay, could be secret.
wow.
Elbow.
Could be boiler too, could be boiler.
Yep. Yeah, we're right if we don't.
First one, lucky, bro. Okay, green.
Well, Joe, we're back into it, and Røkkr are rocking the hell out of Surge. You've got a team at 11-4, got our X near double positive. They're up 30. 3 players have only 4 kills on Surge. Everything looking good for Røkkr with 90 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, when you're slaying this way, you get the setup that you want. They were able to flip towards that AB. But yeah, that's really the big difference maker right now is just the slaying. You look at the other side, yeah, Slack double negative, Apathy almost triple net. You need those guys to step up. They do have a nice CB hold right now. Can they sort of close this half out, only being down, 10, 15 points? That would probably make them feel a lot better than what it is right now going into that second half. Take a look at that minimap. It's Assault trying to work C. The rest of Seattle trying to flip towards A, but one player is ready for him. That's Karma. A big one-on-one here. I think he messes up his nade, so the neutral should come through any second, and it does. He's able to get that neutral. A good job, but, well, 4 go down. And we'll see, he's going to be recapped.
Seattle doing what they can to chip away at this lead heading into the half. It was, about 30 or so points when we came out of that Astro Gaming list-in. They've cut it down to 18 or so now. How much lower can they get it if they retain the 2 cap for these final 20 seconds? It'll be a much more respectable outline. Like, it was at a point where I thought Røkkr were going to run away with this, and we weren't going to be talking much about a second half. But they picked it up when it mattered. The slang started to go their way. The guns got hot. And Surge, seemingly great chance in the second half. If they were down 40+, I would have been very worried.
Heck, even like, 25-30, that's even hard to do, right? Because you know that what that enemy team can do, they can just go for your home flag, go for those neutrals, just really play the time game. But as you said, only being down 13 with how the half was going, a nice little ending there for the Seattle Surge.
Now, can they keep that rhythm going as they start the second half? Was that a good drink of water, Joe?
Oh, did you hear that?
Oh, I don't know if the broadcast did.
Have a cough
I did. Yeah, I know. I just heard the gulp.
Just moved my mic away.
No, that was great.
You gotta stay hydrated.
You gotta stay hydrated. It's very, very important to life. Make sure you're drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water a day.
Some high quality H2O.
That's from Medical Man
quality.
Maven. I went to school to be a doctor, Joe.
No, you did not.
Nope, I did not, Joe.
No, I was like, what are you talking about?
Sometimes I just talk.
I was like, well, you went to school to be a doctor, and here you are. So that didn't go too well.
No,
But 5 go down. That's not going too well for Seattle.
Oh, God. Well, 2 cap about to be coming in for Røkkr.
Finish that cap, please.
There's the finish. Similar to what we saw in the first half, though. Early start for Røkkr. Surge had to battle back, but now you've got 4 minutes on the clock, and this lead just can't grow much. You talked about 25, 30 points being so hard to overcome. If it gets to that point, you've got 3 minutes left. It is dire times for the Surge. Spawning all the way out the opposite side. Octane, I believe, yeah.
Maybe he can make the play. One player's ready for it. That's Alex. They sort of know they needed a safety net, and they play that, right? That's just players. That play right there, I think a month, 6 weeks, 2 months ago, we wouldn't have seen that, right? Like, players are just getting used to the spawn system.
100%.
It's not the greatest thing in the world, but you have to be ready for it. It's just something they've gotten used to.
You have those occasional spawns that don't make a lot of sense, but now they're so consistent that they start to make sense, right? So you're ready
No,
for it.
I don't think they'll ever make sense.
So now they're ready,
for it.
and now they make the play. Big moment now for Surge, though, as they look to take over this B point. There, they'll be able to finish it. They have a 2-cap control, and they've got to hold it for quite a length of time. Down 23, but this is their moment to shine. They cannot let this go away.
Yeah, they have the setup that they want, and you know, we've seen it time and time again where you can neutral C. They just have to get a set of kills. This might be it. Can Apathy find the second? Not able to do so, but Pander has his back, and now you're going to see all the white arrows start to move up. You see where Minnesota's spawning all the way back. Depot.
Pander won 2 on B site, and then once Apathy dropped, dealt with a player coming in from vent room as well. Like Pander, they got 3 or 4 kills there. That was massive from Pander.
So if Seattle gets a set of kills here, they can get that neutral. I mean, they don't have to. It's obviously something they would like to because the lead's down to 15. They'd be fine with just holding 2. It's just hard to do for that amount of time. Slacked, just trying to stay alive inside pipes. Does get taken down. It's got RX, who finds a double. Now starting to work towards this B site.
It looks like Røkkr a little bit kind of undecided. Like they've been trying to send 1 or 2 out towards A, then 1 or 2 in towards B. They've been a bit staggered across the map. Now with everybody coming off spawn, this is your opportunity. Wait for everybody to get up. You've got a 5-man push. And you just don't have a lot of pushes left until you're looking at a lead chain for Surge. Nice stun from Karma. On the other side of the map, Pander takes out 1 as well. It looks like they wanted to commit to an A push this time, and it fell apart quickly. This has just been great. This has been lovely, especially from Pander. That's 4 in a row from him, out to 23 and 14, and this is the neutral you were talking about. It's at least going to put some pressure onto that home spawn for Røkkr and split the push even more, Joe.
Yeah, that's what's so tough about sort of having the C flag. You know, that's when we talk about AB being the strong side. The reason that it's the strong side, you see where those purple arrows are spawning 0, 7, and 8 right now? They have to wrap all the way back to C to try to get them off the flag. Then they have to decide, do we want to go a long route all the way to A, or do we want to wrap back, try to go through middle of the map to B? It's just difficult to choose one flag when you're spawning towards the C side. You have to get a set of kills all at the same time, and right now they're just not able to do so. You talk about the lead change, it's there now. But there's the push, and there is a flip of the spawns. This is not good for Seattle. Octane's trying to hang on to A, but we'll see what they can do. 40 seconds may be Seattle's best friend. That got a little scary.
And there was a huge one-on-one that Alex was able to win onto Pander, so they're going to get the neutral on B. They're going to get A, but is there going to be enough time to flip this?
Neutral. It has to be a neutral, though. There has to be a neutral right now.
So there's AP.
9 points.
2-cap control. They have to push towards C. Going all the way around, I believe, is going to be Alex. He's the one that might be able to make the play. In through bathroom on the pinch is going to be God RX.
Apathy, though, on A. Apathy's trying to work A at the same time.
I think Assault's there to pick it up.
He's got to get the kill, though. Assault's able to get the kill. Can they get the takes in? Oh, my. It's the 3-cap. The 3-cap's in. But there's the neutral. I think...
I have no idea what's going to happen, Joe.
I think they lose this. What is happening?
Where's the tick? What's the tick?
It's a tie.
It's a draw. It's a draw.
Yes. The 2 neutrals came in.
Did both of those neutrals happen right before that final tick happened?
Right at the tick, the neutrals came in. Wow.
What in dear Lord Chicago was that?
Chicago. That is yeah. I don't know. Is this our first time with a draw this year?
Well, we had the fake one where there was a draw, but a team won by 1. This is our first real draw that we weren't lied to by the scoreboard, I think, right?
Yeah. That was
Dude, I was looking at it. I was going to try and break down the time, but I gave up because both A and C were still moving as they were getting capped. I was like, all right, let's just see what happens. And it's a draw. Are you joking? Well, I don't think I need a ref to tell me that they're going to replay this. I mean, that's always been the rule when it comes to draws, at least in my history as a commentator. So I think we're going back. I think we're going back to Gunrunner. What?
It is a present. I know how much you love casting domination, so we're going to do it again.
10 minutes wasn't enough, Joe. I want 20. You know what? 20's not enough. Give me 30 straight at Dom. Let's make the whole best of 5 domination, Joe.
let's hold it there. I'm okay. No, I definitely want to watch Hardpoint Search and Destroy. I'm okay. You can do that. I'll leave and get up.
All right, well, we're gonna get a replay though, and wow, that was nuts because I thought once they got the neutral at C, and then you talked about what Apathy pushing, and I think Assault got the kill. When Assault got the kill, I sort of said in my head it's done. Yeah, like Røkkr have got this. They're going to win it. I'll be honest with you, it was so chaotic. I'd have to watch it back to see how exactly that went down.
I think what happened, right? I'm trying to like go through my memory. What happened is there was a split spawn for Seattle at A and C. So they were able to neutral both flags around the same time. I think Apathy's position spawned one of his teammates on him, so he got the trade onto Assault. They were able to finish that neutral, and then on the other side of the map is where their teammates split spawned towards C, and they were able to get that neutral at the same time. So that's kind of what happened.
Well, Joe, you are a smarter man.
Well,
than
I want to go back. I don't know how they spawned C-side. Right? When they had the A-B setup, I have no idea how they spawned back C, because they had the A-B setup and it was perfect.
All right.
I have no idea what happened.
Production team, I don't want you to yell at me, because I know we can ask for this sometimes when we're in the LAN environment, but I know the tech here is completely different. Is it possible to watch that last minute or so? Is that realistic? Okay, all right. I don't think we can. I was curious if we could, because I know we've done that sometimes before, but I know it's a very different world we're in now. We're all in the cloud, Joe. We're in the cloud.
I mean, if you want me to, I can back up on YouTube. I can go.
No. It's okay. Well, I'm sure there'll be some tweets out there. I
don't have a problem.
I just was. That was chaos.
Okay, I found it. I'm gonna play it right now. I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
I'm gonna play it right now for you.
You're gonna watch this.
I'm gonna put it in.
You can walk me through it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna half speed it. Okay, so here's that moment.
You tell me what happened, Joe.
Okay, so Assault kills Apathy, but Karma is there. So yeah, so there was a split spawn. Okay, I'll do the same thing. I'm looking. Okay, so Pander spawned at C. So there's the split spawn. So they get the trade onto Assault. Then they get on A. And yes, it was the split spawn, because all of Minnesota spawn in bathrooms. They go to A because they're like, crap, we can't give up A. And then Pander and I believe that is Apathy come off spawn behind them C and get the neutral at C.
So they were almost better off not doing anything.
Correct.
Like if they would have just sat where they were and it didn't.
If they would have stayed at C, they would have won. Wow. Yeah, the neutral comes in.
Well, that's what I figure something crazy happened, because I just didn't.
Yeah.
I like I said, I clocked it in my head as a Røkkr win as soon as they were able to hold off A for that extra
I'm
tick.
sure it was one. It's obviously one of those things where they're just thinking we need to, right? Like it's
no one's
so,
thinking
like,
clearly
second.
at that point, especially in Dom with that going on. I mean,
yeah. So yeah, to answer your question, there was a split spawn. That's what happened.
All right. Well,
so the spawns that didn't make sense don't make sense.
Hey, it ended 155, and it was a ludicrous map. So we're doing it again. And if you're just joining us, though, it is a 2-0 lead for Røkkr. So they're looking to close this out in 3-0 fashion. We should be hopping into the map shortly. I believe we're getting ready to get loaded in now, but not much else to say. It was a wild one, and I think our first draw, at least our first real draw.
Well, that's pretty awesome now that we're at home, because I just was able to do that. I could just watch the replays myself.
That's right. It is. It's a different world now.
I could just watch it myself.
And that didn't cross my mind, Joe. That's why I have you.
Yeah, 200 IQ.
All right. Let's get right back into it. No, I mean, both halves were kind of, Røkkr dominant early. They get the 2-cap first. They push out to a 30, 40-point or so lead. Then somewhere around 2 minutes, 3 minutes into the half, it's all surge. It's like they find their footing midway through the game or midway through the half. See if it's similar here.
We saw like the scoreboard at the end. I mean, the slaying was pretty one-sided, but the start of this game a little bit different. Seattle getting very aggressive towards A. They force Minnesota to back all the way up. So you're going to have an early CB hold for Seattle. I like that play. Minnesota, they want to hold A so bad that the players mid-map working B have to back up due to the pressure. That turns into a 2-cap, and now Karma starting to go ham.
I'm going to be honest, Joe. You said ham, and I'm real hungry, and all I can think about was like a ham sandwich with pepper jack cheese and some spicy brown mustard.
Let's say sometimes when I don't hear you respond for a few seconds.
No, I went to another world just thinking about food. Oh, that's what I'm doing as soon as this cast is done.
Something messed up. Somebody's talking to him. I don't know sometimes
No,
what you're doing over there.
I just went to
That is the one thing, and like, you know, at events, I just be like, bro, get off the phone. Like, I have no idea what you're doing right now.
Joe, me, I never
no
use
idea.
my phone, man.
Yeah, you can only do one thing at once, so that's I always know when you're tunnel vision.
That is
I
true.
always know.
That is true. All right, well, Seattle Surge, though, at least have done a better job through the opening 60 seconds or so, but now it's Røkkr. They're in control. They have that A-B setup, and we should see a lead change here momentarily if they're able to hold on to it. It's got our X patrolling mid-map, but they're able to get into green, and Apathy just goes flying over his head, gets the kill. The poor God RX never sees him as he tries to get into position.
Yeah, staircases are like your best friend or your worst enemy in Call of Duty. They really are, because there's just so many different timings where like you can jump off of them, jump behind a player like we just saw with Apathy, and it's great to do that, but it sucks when it happens to you.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. I've never competed at your level, Joe, but I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, no, it sucks.
I just went for that one with you. But just one cap for either team at the moment. Røkkr now able to retain their home cap at A. Silly will be picked up inside of bathrooms, but pushed up all the way on the B side of things will be Assault. And it's that spot where you mentioned sort of Surge have to make a decision, right? When you have that spawn coming in, do you try to push out towards A? Do you funnel back in towards B? They just go and fly in through B. As Assault drops, that's going to be an opening on the point now for Surge. Karma continues to find kills.
Yeah, I mean, Panther did such a good job at C, and he had bathrooms control where the rest of his teammates could just go B. Got our X, though. He's trying to put pressure on. Now he's in the bathroom. So you can see what Seattle has to do. They have no presence at B. They have to worry about C.
That's another.
Can Octane find this player?
That's another benefit to casting at home, Joe. Instead of sometimes getting set up where a bathroom's like 45 minutes away, you have to sprint.
You gotta go on a sprint.
Yeah. Now it's just right next door. Hello, bathroom. It's great.
Say hello. Okay, there we go.
Tie game yet again. But still a 2 cap right now for Røkkr. What was the difference? About 20 points in the first half the first time through?
Yeah, about 20 points. And it could still get to that point right now with Minnesota making this push. They hold this push, and they might be able to neutral C, but Apathy's going to shut that down. And with those kills, here comes the Seattle Surge push. Assault in the back. He gets gunned by an MP5 of Slag. Nice shots out of him.
Yeah, they pick up the flanker as well. One of the Minnesota players won a gunfight instead of bathrooms. I thought maybe they'd have a pinch to clear them off the point. God RX, a really good job to get multiple kills from the site and stop the secure for a second, but the number's still there for Surge. They're going to get in, get the point, make sure that 20-point lead not going to be coming in for Røkkr, at least for now. God RX, a nice half thus far, as he's sitting at 11-7. Seattle Surge, maybe a better first half. I mean, it's going to be a better first half.
I think a much better first half, and you can just see in the slaying column, it's not as one-sided as it was. Keeping this close, and they might even have the lead. They will take the lead. Another lead change comes in. I think the best thing for Seattle, what they've been able to do, is just, you know, take care of that C flag. Honestly, a few times Minnesota has gone for the pressure to go for that neutral, and they have shut it down. Octane with a nasty snap as he gets out to 12-8. But yeah, Seattle, much better job on this side.
20-point deficit the first time through. Now going to take a minimal lead, if anything, into the second half. That'll do it now for the first half. But we have another wild result. They're going to be up 1. These two teams could not be playing a tighter domination on Gunrunner. Tied 155 to close out the first playthrough. Now a 1-point separation between the squads heading into the second half of our second go-around. This is setting up to be the longest series in the history of Call of Duty esports.
Is it? Is it really?
If it goes 5 maps, yeah. I mean, the only time I think we had a replay was what? Red Reserve, Rise Nation, Arden Forest, Hardpoint, right? Back at...
Yeah, I think there's
that was
been
the
some
winners
others,
final.
but Anaheim.
Yeah, no, there's been a couple. There's been a couple, but, you know, we've obviously had some delays here with the first transition online, so I'm just going to go ahead and say if we get to a 5th map, it might be the longest series of all time, Joe, and I could not be happier to do it with anyone but you.
Unless, I mean, we might get another draw here, which I know you would just love.
Let's just keep it going. Let's play forever. At one point, actually, you know, if they draw again, they're flipping coins. I'll flip the coin.
They'll flip a coin?
Yeah.
Okay, I like
Octane, heads or tails.
that. Seattle had to be careful here, though. They put a lot of pressure on C. They're able to get the cap. They back up. They deal with A. They want to make sure they do not flip Minnesota into their A spawn, but they're doing a good job of it right now. Holding both home flags, holding a 10-point lead.
That'll be B for Røkkr. That's all they're going to have. Now, what do they opt to go for from here? Obviously, they want to get the A side of things, but they're still spawning C is the problem. They win the entry gunfight onto Pander, though. Number 6 and Alex just needs to die. Oh, see, I just died. Just get out of there because you're still lurking towards C. You don't want the spawns to get a little bit freaky. Just drop. Make sure you get that A spawn. That's beautiful there from Røkkr. B control into A. C player dies. They've got what they want now, Joe.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. I don't know if I love that from Seattle. I mean, it was working, but I felt like they didn't put enough resources towards the A flag. I feel like you want to be pretty heavy on that side to make sure you don't lose it. But they only had 1 or 2 players, you know, towards the back. So, yeah, when Minnesota starts to spawn a little bit closer towards A, they're just going to make that team push. It happens, and they're able to flip it. See, now what can Minnesota do with this A-B setup? But Pander,
nothing.
Karma, Apathy, 4 go down, and there's going to be a B flag for the Seattle Surge.
Oh, God, and Karma just pushes directly behind it, lines up 2 more at 14 and 12. A 4 spree from Karma. He drops shortly after that, but a nice play to just delay the retake from Røkkr yet again. It looks like this series might extend if Surge can keep this going.
And again, once you get to the second half, like, this lead and the clock are your best friends. So you can play around those neutrals. We're up to 16 points. If it gets close to 20, that means Minnesota would have to have 2 flags for 2 minutes. A big one-on-one goes down as Apathy is able to take down Assault near B. He can help try to hold that B flag, but here comes the push. What else could he do? He's going to meet a nade on the other side of the map. Pander, he's going to fly off spawn, try to neutral A.
He's going to get caught. Røkkr will get back in control with the 2 cap down 17. Who's that all the way in the back? That's going to be Karma that's lurked all the way around. I don't think they realize he's there at all. What kind of damage can Karma do?
He's got to wait. He's got to wait for his teammates to find a kill or 2. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. It looks like he's going to opt to go B. 1 player's ready for him. That was Assault. Nice patience out of him.
Yeah, I think Assault was the guy kind of lurking to watch that mid push. Then also, if anyone hopped A, right, he could pick it up. I don't think he realized that Karma was back in their spawn.
No, he had no idea. Yeah, no, he was just watching the cross.
Yep.
He was watching the cross, and well, Karma just he's like, hello.
Unfortunately for Karma, he goes anywhere else, he's probably in a better spot. That's like the one position.
I honestly thought he was just gonna wait. I thought he was just gonna wait on that rooftop for his teammates to come off, for Minnesota to commit to C. A few kills go down. He hops on A. I thought that was gonna be the play.
Oh! Alex, I thought was dead to rights because he was getting flanked. He had the pinch, but there were 2 players I thought behind him from Surge, but he takes a bit of damage, gets to the edge with just enough health to pick up the first kill, then the drop shot with the pistol to pick up another. So Alex goes huge to make sure Røkkr can still hold on to this. He keeps on soaring forward. 4 will drop from Røkkr, but a lot of those deaths, well, several happened towards C, but at the same time, I think it was Octane that was pushed all the way up towards A. So you get this to a 4-point deficit, but now you've lost B control again. 60 seconds to go. Surge control their destinies.
All the pressure from C from Minnesota Røkkr ends up hurting them because they all get taken down at the same time, and that flips B. But Alex, he soars on through. Well, 1 player was there in Pander who won the gunfight. Now he's just playing alive, and once again, you're at this point now where it's going to be a 10-point lead with 40 seconds left. You need a 2 cap in a neutral. I just don't know if it's going to happen this time. You see them in map control. 4 go down in Seattle. They draw out. They make the comeback the first time around, and it looks like they're going to win it the second time around.
They'll remain undefeated on this map and mode in tournament play so far this year. It wasn't easy. It took 20 minutes of game time and probably 40 minutes of real time to get through this actual map 3. But Surge, they'll get the W. They'll still stay alive in this tournament. They'll stay alive in the series. Because reminder, this is an elimination match. Loser is done. They're knocked out of the tournament. Nobody out yet as Octane ends it on a 5 spray.
Yeah, nice little stat pad to end it. You know, you feeling good. You know, Minnesota, maybe they're putting their controllers down, and Octane's just like, hello, I'm going to continue to pad my stats. Because why not? That's the beauty of having the lead with 30 seconds left.
Well, this time, they're able to hold on, but what a wild map 3 that was. As we'll I'm just taking a look through the stats, see what really stands out. Alex had a big game of 24 and 18. On the other end of it, Octane, as you chatted about, 23 and 15. He'll lead the way for the side of Seattle, but the big story is a long map 3, but Seattle still in it.
Yeah, and I believe now is the tough part for Seattle. I mean, we've touched on their hard point. On the other side, we're going to Minnesota's best map, right? Hackney hard point. This was one of their best maps right from the start of the season. I think they're undefeated right now. I believe they're 5-0 on this map, so nobody has been able to beat them on Hackney. We'll see if Seattle could do it this time.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy to do. Everything feels like in Minnesota's hands right now to close out this series and move on to yet another semifinal. But I don't know, is there anything for Seattle in the sense of like it was a tie game, it's a crazy game, and then you're able to clutch up in that type of position to get the win?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, momentum's been on their side. The problem has been, like, they just haven't been that great on hardpoint, right? Like, that's really been the key difference. Like, I feel like if we've seen a better, hardpoint out of Seattle, I've been feeling pretty good for them. But I know this is Minnesota's best map, and that scares the heck out of me. It's not like the sling's been great from Seattle this series.
That's absolutely true. I don't know. I want to root for Seattle because they need the points, right? What were the 3 teams that desperately needed them? You had Toronto, Seattle, and then who am I missing? Guerrillas that really, really needed to pick up all these points, and this is their chance. They got to do it. They get one map win somehow. This 5-11 hardpoint record they have. They've got to muster up something. Someone's got to go dad mode. Apathy, Karma. One of these guys has got to just crush this map, get them to a map 5. But unfortunately, if they get to a map 5, that's where they lose 99.7% of their series. Yeah,
it's not going to be good. But I believe we're going to take a look at one of the hard points between these two teams in Los Angeles. So let's go ahead and take a look.
They're not done yet, though. One final push for one final contest. The tournament is decided here.
They got a kill.
And Illy's there up top. They got him out of the hard point.
Got him
they
out.
might still be able to get
there.
in.
They're
They
there.
gotta fly. Go, go, go. Get in. They're able to get in. Everybody is into the point. 247. 247.
They're inside.
It's madness
They got
inside. Røkkr.
They got
They
it.
do it. They do it. They do it. It's Røkkr with the win. It's map 5, baby.
What just happened?
Yeah, Røkkr have had some wild moments this year. I mean, you take a look back at the final at our last LAN at LA. That was one of the crazier hardpoints I've ever been a part of, and I've casted some crazy ones, man. I remember the London Docks, Team Caliber, Luminosity. Like, I've had a lot of crazy, like 250, 249 games, but
yeah,
that one was so crazy because a lot of times in those situations where you have that crazy map, like, it's like 240, 240 or something. It's really close, and you still think either team could win. That was one that you felt was over. Like, just because they had Doc site control, you thought it was done. It should have been done, and then somehow it goes the distance.
It seems to be this map, though, right? Because we just saw last night with Illy when he was able to make that play, find those 3 kills. We're like, all right, this is done. This is one of those situations where the player just has to put his controller down, but Illy was able to sneak through and make the play. But yeah, that one between Dallas and Minnesota, that was an epic one in that grand final.
It absolutely was. All right. Can they survive this and get us to a map 5? Surge. So much pressure to get points. Røkkr. Can they get a tournament win? They're going to have to do it the hard way through the losers portion of their group play. But GodRx has now tucked himself into tires as he was kind of finessing around the building with his buddy Pander, just looking for an opening, and Slack just smokes him as he hits the edge.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle, they go for that top side of the map push. They're trying to flip the spawns if they can. And what does that do? That opens up the hill for Minnesota. They're able to earn some early time, but Seattle, they soar on through. Now they're going to tie the game up. But as we rotate the tire shop, that's going to be on the right side of your map, that hill number 2. It is a tough one to break. It is a money hill, as we like to call it. It's going to be tough for Seattle to break through. You do have Panda working through the middle, though. He's able to find 2, but still, Minnesota, hold on.
And they're going to be the first one up to maybe be the entry. The entry not going to go well for him as the seam slides across his POV. That'll be everybody wiped now from Surge. So the first push in transition to maybe find an opening, not going to pay off. Now Røkkr have pushed all the way up to green, and that top window, I believe, is Silly, who's got an angle. It's the MP5. Love to have a M4 from this range, but what am I saying? The MP5 can do everything.
I mean, you can do it all.
Yeah, you can really do
whatever you want with this gun. Yeah, I see him showing you right now.
Yeah, he's putting on a clinic. How many more can he find? Alex, the next guy up, but when it boils down to it, really Surge have not gotten close to the point. Now with under 30 seconds left, finally they're going to get near it. It's Pander that gets to the bottom side of it. Entire shot, but nothing going for him. They're going to be close to what? Just about 80 points on the board. The scoreline you expect every time you enter Hackney.
Yeah, and I think one interesting thing that Minnesota does when they play this map is they run those 2 ARs. Like, we see a lot of teams just run one. Both Counter-Ice and Assault, they run the M4, right? And which on such a smaller map, typically we don't see that, but it has worked for them. I'm actually, I mean, I feel like other teams have like tried to mimic it, but they just don't do it as well.
When I talked to Crowder about it, and I think rep it a little bit, you know, your phase coach and Røkkr coach, even though it's a smaller map, it's actually one of the better maps to run 2 ARs on, because a lot of the subs are just flying, right? Flying. It's a small
Easy
map.
kills.
You catch them sprinting all the time. Yes, and there's a lot of really good cover spots you can play behind, and you just catch these subs trying to hammer around the map, trying to get in a position that the 2 AR setup really works very, very well here. But yeah, it's different than thinking about 2 on cave or something.
Yeah, exactly, like we saw earlier in this series. Silly, though, going to take down Karma, get some time on this smokestack. We're going to rotate to office where all the arrows are starting to head. Silly was trying to get into a good position, but it's up to a seam now in the hill, just trying to lock it down. The Assault's watching over him.
They've got a good spread, and you still have Silly lurking towards mid-map. This is where you got to be careful of your Surge. You want to get the push, you want to get control, but you don't want to flip. And that's the big reason why you see, I think, that number 9 in Karma sitting over towards yellow. Doesn't want to push too far forward, maybe risk flipping the spawns, but as the seam spawns deep, you're still in a good spot. You spawn smokestack if you're Pander, so you know you're still safe for the point. So not only do they get the break into green, but they also are going to be able to hold on to the spawns. Octane now on a 5 spree as he's lighting it up. This is a chance for Surge to get back into this game. This is an incredible hold and break at green. They've got the dock spawns. They can take the lead with a hold here.
Yeah, now here comes a push. Karma, he's going to have a lot of players to deal with towards back yellow. One player is going to spawn up next to him. That's going to be Octane. Now it's on to Octane. There we go. He's able to rotate through. He finds 2 kills. Pander under him watches that. So that push from Minnesota just gets shut down. I thought they had an opportunity, but they had to find one more kill on Octane.
And that's huge. Those 3 players go big because you had, I think it was Apathy still in the hard point, and because he's in the hard point, because the push is bottom side of the map, I think it was Karma. Karma spawns all the way out across the map. So you're really in sort of a 3-on-4 there, right? Like, they don't have the numbers, but they're able to clutch up with a superior position and win those fights. And now this could be a massive chain of back-to-back hard points for Surge as they now go in front, up 10 points.
Yeah, but they give up yellow control so early.
Okay.
The kills come in, and there's
just
the flip. That was just a little too easy.
Delete the final the last 10 seconds of what I said, because none of it matters. It should have been, right? It should have been an incredible sequence for Surge, but...
Yeah, they just had nobody yellow. And what Minnesota was able to do is they stacked the yellow side, and that sort of creates those parallel spawns that we talk about, where Seattle's spawning near the office side. They don't get the kills. They're not able to execute, and what happens is Minnesota just floods the hill.
The flood pays off. So instead of a Surge lead, it's going to be right back out to a 20-point advantage. Octane, I think, is on a killing spree every other life, it feels like. It just keeps popping up. Can we actually take a look at the stats when the observers get a second? I just want to see what Octane's sitting at right now, because it feels like he's had the hot hand over these last couple of lives that he has. He's 19-9. Yeah, no, I legitimately felt like I've seen that pop up 2-3 times in the last 45 to 60 seconds. So he's been having one hell of a map. Objectively, it's been Apathy leading the way. He's got over a minute to go in the hard point. Everyone around, even for Røkkr, really the only standout stat from a positive thing, it's Octane. He's just a man on a mission right now in this map 4.
Yeah, I mean, both teams just playing pretty even. It shows that in the scoreline. 20 seconds left inside the warehouse. Silly trying to get any time he can. You see Seattle, they're holding the right side of the map. They're feeling good right now as we're going to go to rotate over towards that tire shop. I don't think that Minnesota should be able to break this one as easily as they did Docks, but we will see what happens.
Well, we saw Røkkr, the first time through, get a really good hold here at tires. It's Surge's turn. And I think the thing that stood out the most from the map 1 cave is Surge just had a couple of moments where they could have had great holds and something fell apart. Whether it was communication being off, miscommunication, GodRx sneaking through and getting a pick onto your anchor AR. There was always something that went wrong in a key moment. It's one of those spots they have to hold, but now comes the big wave. 3 players flooding up towards mid. 2 players have gotten in towards the point, but apathy there to make the play. It's a close spawn though, bottom right. And there's still 27 seconds remaining on this point. The number should be there for Røkkr. And that's a big chunk of time, Joe. That's a big chunk of time. Every time, that's now Docks and Tire, where it feels like Surge are finally going to get a lead, right? Get a lead and push it out to maybe 20, 30 points. Instead, Røkkr get that break, and we're right back where we started.
Yeah, I think you sort of nailed it, right? Even with the first map, there was 2-3 hills where you had the setups and just something bad happens where they're not getting the kills that they need. Maybe it is the communication just a little bit off, but these are hills that you just have to be able to execute on, and Seattle just hasn't been able to do so.
It happened to Cave West. It happened to Cave East.
Twice.
It happened, I believe, at Outpost. Yeah, well, no, sorry, it was just the Cave. I think it was the Cave holds. That was everything. Here it's Docks and tire shops. Like, and you don't have to always get 50 to 60 every money hill to win the game. You don't have to, but when your team playing as poorly as they are, yeah, you do. Yes, you do. When you have an early setup at a strong hard point, you need to get that time. You just have to, because you haven't been good enough to convince me that you're going to break consistently. You need to do your best with the early holds you've got.
One good thing for Seattle, the first time we were here at office, they did have a great hold. We'll see what they can do this next time through. The scrap time going to go Seattle's way. Minnesota going to try to find the kills inside this next office hill. Asim's going to find one. Wait for this hill to pop and now slide on through. 3 go down for Seattle. Karma just on the other side of the wall, though. Is he going to be able to make the play? He's going to have so many players to deal with.
Did he just jump past GodRx? I was watching the minimap. I think GodRx was pre-aimed towards blue side, and Karma just jumped right past him.
He jumped right past him, and then he jumped out of the hill contest. So I think a kill went down, and GodRx thought it was that player on the hill. And Karma just played the staircase. I mean, that was beautifully done. Like, so creative out of Karma.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he just hopped the wall right in front of GodRx. Like, literally right to the side of him. Yeah. Okay, well, that was interesting. But with all that said, it's Minnesota Røkkr 20 points away from victory, and Asim on the 5 spree.
It's a 1 point difference, so they'll be at 249. And I think Seattle thinks they win here, which they don't.
Yeah, they definitely had to have thought that. They definitely thought that was the case.
Yeah, because they just gave up rotation.
4 people flooded towards it. They gave up rotation. They're going to get bailed out, I think, by getting the close spawn, despite the fact that Asim is here. So they're going to survive. That actually worked out. I thought that was going to end the game. I don't know how that just worked out. I have no idea how that just worked out. I thought they completely fumbled it there by thinking that they had the contest when they didn't. But somehow they've still got the spawns, and somehow they are still in this game, and they can win it here.
I think it's another. No, I think it's
you think
another.
It's 1 second?
You think it's 1? I think it's 1 second again.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. God, what is it with us and cast these crazy hackney yards, Joe?
I think it is a 1 second game again.
Oh my God.
I think Minnesota just has to play rotation. Are they going to notice it? Are they going to notice it? That is the question. Or are they going to freak out the way Seattle did?
Oh, now look, one spawns out. Yeah, Karma spawns out. Slack spawns out. Oh, no.
They got to hold on, though. They have to hold on, right? They have to hold on for 5 seconds.
Go. If you're go, now you go. If you're Røkkr trying to get in, get the one.
This is great for Seattle.
No. I thought they could get enough time and they weren't able to do it.
It's 1-2 again.
And now Seattle's inside. 249. Seattle won.
What are these guys?
What is going on with these maps?
It just kept flip-flopping.
Oh my
the other team was going to win. They didn't have to do anything.
They just put your controller down.
They didn't have to do anything.
I thought for a second when you were like, Surge has to hold on for these seconds. I looked in, there was like 5 seconds left. Like, oh my God, they can get the break and go, but the timing didn't line up.
Oh, no.
Oh!
Look at Anthony. He's got his hands up. He's like, what is going on? I don't know.
We've got a draw on the map 3, a 250 to 249 in the map 4.
It was literally both hills, both office and docks, I think, were one tick away, and I don't think either team noticed.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
Joe, what's going
What
on,
a
man?
series. Like you said, we are setting the record for the longest series.
Oh, yeah, this has got to be
COD
the longest
history.
series in the history of Call of Duty
What time
esports.
is it?
What time did we start this? Is there a way to pinpoint
I don't know.
when we actually...
It's 6:20,
I want to
yeah.
know when you and I came on camera for the first time. Because it
We
had to have been
3
7...
more matches tonight. We're going to be casting our last match at 11
Oh, yeah,
PM.
it had to have been 7.5 hours ago.
Okay,
Now,
so we have the
we're
replay.
watching the
So we
replay,
have the replay on the...
but the sync is off for us, so we can't really commentate this like it's live. But Joe, do your best to kind of break it down.
I mean, yeah, Minnesota, they go for the push. I think they had to. We talked about Karma flipping. He just rotates to the new hill, and guess what? They win because of it. I don't know. I feel like if we can notice the tick, they should be able to, but maybe it's one of those things where, like, you get a little bit worried. But yeah, man, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea.
Well, Joe,
Be more COD.
I'm already
That's all I know.
starting to
We
get.
got Game
I'm already
5.
starting to get a lot of grays in my beard, but something tells me by the time this series is over, I'm gonna have even more.
Yeah,
And that's due to stress, and then also just the length of this series. Like I'm 35. I'm gonna be 37 by the time it's done. This has
Are you
been
35?
this has been insane. Absolutely
It has
insane.
been.
It's a pleasure
We
to
got
do
a
this with you,
draw,
Joe.
1
Viewers,
point
I hope
game.
you're having fun. This has been
Hopefully
crazy.
this at this point, just give me like a game 5 round 11. Like, we're already in for it for this much. Just give it to me.
Well, how many?
Just give
I mean,
give it to me.
wasn't that like all of Seattle's game to start this year? Like game 5 round 11.
I hope.
They'd win one,
I
lose
hope
one.
this doesn't
lose.
turn into like a typical Seattle get smoked S&D map. I really don't.
Seattle,
Give me something.
This is a prayer from Old Man Maeve. I need you to step it up and make this a battle in Game 5. I need you to push
Where are
this
we
the
going?
distance.
I'm gonna take a
You've
look.
got what, 10 points in the league? 20 points? The 10, right? They have 10?
I'm not
10,
sure.
20? Whatever it is horrible. You need the points here. You need to step it up.
Okay.
Woo! Replay map 3, 250 to 249 map 4. It's been a circus here in this series. Map 5 up next. Well, Joe, Røkkr versus Surge has been a battlefield. These two teams pushing each other to the absolute limit. This has been one of the
pushing us to the limit.
Yeah,
I'm worried about you. I am. I'm worried about you.
It's been insane. Like, this has been absolutely nuts. Everything you could want in an elimination match, and one more map will decide who's going home, who's moving on. And remember, I mean, this is probably taking something out of these teams. The winner of this still has to win another series to get to Sunday.
We still have to cast another series later today.
God, we're doing the final
last match.
Oh yeah, we're casting.
Yeah.
We're casting till midnight, Joe. We're gonna have a great time because commentating Call of Duty is my favorite thing in the world when I'm doing it with you.
I love that. This is
like if I was casting this with Momo, I would have walked away probably midway through the second time we were playing Dom. But the fact is, with you, Joe, I'm still here.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I really do. But yeah, we're going to St. Petrograd Game 5. These teams, we talked about LA. They played twice. Minnesota won twice. But this map, they actually did split.
Interesting.
So it was two one-sided maps. You had a 6-1 and a 6-2. So you know these teams are recognized with one another. We'll see what adjustments they make for these maps.
Who won the first? Who won the second? Do you know? Do you have that in front of you or no?
I could look. Yeah.
I would just be curious.
One, Seattle won 6-1, and then the second one, Minnesota won 6-2.
That's what kind of scares me. It's like Seattle won, Minnesota figured it out, and they beat them, I guess, is what I'm wondering.
Okay, and that actually could have been flipped. I don't know, but either or, yeah, that's just what I have.
Joe.
Yes.
It all comes down to this, Joe.
It does. I'm excited.
The 5th in final map on St. Peter Griffin. This is everything.
It's St. Petrograd.
St. Petrograd. That is my fault. Octane.
It's okay.
Can he take over the map? Alex, via the car, I believe, is going to get a kill inside around container. So that's going to be a man advantage to Røkkr early. Karma just playing around the edge, get some shots in, not able to connect and get the kill. GodRx is going to make him pay. Asim gets to the God box, and there is the kill. Surge just getting bopped so far in this round 1.
Yeah, and you would hope Minnesota from yesterday sort of learned their mistakes, right? You had that full sale happen where they go up 5-0, and very quickly that they throw that one away. But a first very nice round out of Minnesota. It was a clean one. It starts with that first blood, and they just bully their way into the site.
Final kill from Assault. So far, so good. And Joe, kind of like you critiqued and talked a little bit about Surge throughout the game too. If you're seeing anything which you think might allude or represent their struggles in Surge, please point it out if anything jumps out at you. But round 1 over pretty quickly. I'll tell you one thing that stands out to me, Joe. They didn't get a single kill.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
That's the first big take.
There you go. That's high level analysis for round 1. As we'll now focus on to round 2. Asim getting aggressive in the corner. He sees multiple cross. I think he was thinking about flying through the smoke for just a moment, but now just the hip fire in. Gonna play his life. Close the door behind him. No entry here.
Oh, there's a nice first blood for Karma. You see the dead silence to the wall. He's going to pop that, maybe try to make the play. It is tough to retake this bomb site when you're down a man. So I imagine Minnesota doesn't want the bomb to be planted. Asim, he's going to quick peek it, just back his way on up. And GodRx is going to find one on Apathy. That was the bomb planter.
The bomb going to be picked up for a moment from Surge, but goes down yet again.
They get aggressive.
3v2. They try to push this out. Now working the bomb plant, trying to get it down. It's all going to be an Assault down to 1v3. Assault does have dead silence to work with, but not going to matter. Seattle answer. So far, 2 offensive rounds, and both offensive teams able. Oh, sorry. So far, the first 2 rounds, the offensive team able to take it.
Yeah, I mean, I like what Minnesota did. I mean, they knew after getting first blooded, they couldn't allow the bomb to get down. You know, they even it out, and they just sort of back away. They know that Seattle has to plant. They try to back up, but the aggression comes right at him. Panther gets very aggressive top apartments, uses that dead silence, and from there, they have to run through the archway. Karma set up, and Seattle's able to tie it up.
Looks like it's right back day. for Røkkr how to Surge deal with this differently this time. I believe Karma was the first one caught last time through as he was set up. Just patiently inching their way forward as they prepare to get the utility involved.
That round just sort of slowed down as both teams. Well, Minnesota's happy with the position. Here comes the flank, though. Slacked. He flies through the smoke, tries to find a kill. Does have dead silence, so he's able to get to a pool hall. I don't know if they know Assault's there. Okay, now I know they know he's there. As he gets taken down, and this looks like to be another clean round for Seattle.
Nice job by Seattle, up 2-1, in control of the search and destroy. We haven't said that many times this year. Can they keep it going? Nice little play from Octane here.
The first search to destroy was pretty back and forth until it got to about 3-3, and then that's when Minnesota just started making the small adjustments. They started switching up the bomb sites and their strategies, and yeah, they ran away with the game.
Oh, heck. That even sounds a little bit like what you were talking about with the last time they played this then, too, in LA. Like, Seattle win the first one. Røkkr learned to adapt. They smoke them in the second one. The Røkkr start to adapt over the course of the mid-game here in map 5. Apathy just working his way up mid-tracks. Alex, we know he loves this spot.
Yeah, this is a position where you called him a cat.
Yes, it is. That's the only reason I remember it, Joe.
I was like, I don't know. Do cats like just hang out under tables?
Yeah,
I don't know.
In
Never
case they
had a
get
cat.
scraps.
I've always been a dog
In case they get
person.
scraps from the table.
Okay.
It's just science, Joe. Godorex now with the first blood.
Number 7, though, is going on a flank. That's Apathy. Apathy's behind him. Apathy, he gets through middle street. Only able to find one, though. And Asim, he backs away, plays his life.
Yeah.
They know they have man advantage in the round.
That's big. He can trade it and get away. I thought he was going to get caught for a second. It was Octane that got some bullets in him from the arch. 20 seconds to go. Bomb in hand for Octane. Octane by himself. Nothing he can do as the peek comes in from bottom and top. Brings us to 2-2. Røkkr answer.
I'm hoping, Clint. I'm hoping we go round 11.
Take me there. I don't think I would have ever had anything like that in my career if we went draw, replay, 250, 249, then round 11. I'm pretty confident it's the first time I've ever experienced that. And by that, I mean absolutely without questions the first time I've ever experienced that.
There's no way, yeah.
And we're not even halfway through the day. It's gonna be a great day of Call of Duty, Joe. It's gonna be a great day of Call of Duty. What do you have to do on this Saturday other than watch COD? It's great.
Exactly.
Tweet the stream.
Stay
Let's
inside.
have some fun. Stay
Play
inside.
video games, watch video games.
Eat a pizza.
Oh, pizza sounds good
I
right
said that
now.
out loud. No,
That sounds real good. Hey, hon, we're getting pizza.
Slack dips away with his life for now as we're into the 4v4. Looks like Røkkr want to wrap this back to A. It's going to be Karma that's lying in wait. Rotating over to help him. That number 7 on the main map, that'll be Apathy. So it's going to be a 2-on-3 for a moment. The first gunfight might actually be at mid. I think Godorex just had a very lucky timing. Slack just went to reposition towards mid. Runs right in front of Godorex. Thankfully for him, though, Pander there to get the kill right after it. So 3v3. The big difference here, you got 3 players there from Røkkr. The third player in Pander is all the way across the map.
Yeah, can they find the timing? That's the thing. Asim's trying to check this corner. It's so deep, though, and Apathy's going to fly out, find a kill, and there's the trades. And as you said, with the man advantage in that site, Silly is going to force a one-on-one. Pander with dead silence. I think he's just going to peek the bomb. He just run away.
Oh,
He challenges. He just had to run. He just had to play the clock. You checked the bomb.
Oh, he flies out and Silly smokes him, stuffs him in the oven, puts him in a body bag and fries him, Silly, with the 1v1 clutch.
Clint?
Was that too far? Was that too far?
Maybe a little bit.
That's my bad. That's my bad. Yeah, I got excited.
You basically just said he made a hot pocket.
Pander, walking hot pocket. Poor guy loses the 1v1. Edge now to Røkkr. Got our X just playing it patient. Got eyes into top restaurant. Basically, 90% of the gunfights we've seen so far are towards A. Might get a bit of a change of pace now as Surge creeping their way up towards that B site. But just, dude, just look at the map, man. How deep that B bomb is. How many more angles and buildings you have to clear.
Yeah, what you see a lot of the times is like what Seattle's doing right now is because maybe Minnesota, you know, they take a risk, send 2 or 3 on the flank, and you find those kills, and then you can just easily go to the B site, and it's basically round over. That's what they're setting up for around that restaurant, but now they have to rotate back. But because they're so late, you see there's still 2 players near the B site. Got a rest now. He's going to get on his horse, start to rotate on over. Can these players stay alive? Can they stop the plant? Only 20 seconds left in the round, 5 seconds to plant.
And Silly, I thought he was going to be the hero of the round, but Octane just picks him from deep. Now it's Alex's turn to be the hero. That's going to stop the plant. Can't get away with his life, though. 2v2.
They just need 1 kill. They just need 1 kill. He's just going to peek. That's it. The round's over. The round is over. They just waited so long. God Rex says hello, plays a little peekaboo, finds the last 2 kills. And like we talked about with map number 1, right? It's so back and forth, and then those adjustments come in for Minnesota, and they have a 2-round lead.
2-minute rounds a couple months ago, maybe they can make that happen, but just not enough time. Røkkr 2 rounds away from taking the series and getting into another semifinal, or getting closer to another semifinal. 10-3. How perfect is this? We've been hyping up GodRx all day. He has 10 kills through 6 rounds.
That is pretty darn good.
Nice.
Minnesota going fast.
Asim gets to the God box, gets the kill.
But they don't watch the door. Apathy plays the timing. And similar to what Asim typically does on defense. He's able to just play his life. But 1 player got through. Panda has gotten through. Panda is behind him. If we can switch to Panda's point of view, can he make the play? Silly, he finds 1, but there's Panda. He's able to flank through. Finds a kill onto Assault, stops the plant, and now they can meet up with him. As Apathy forces a 2-on-2. Another close round.
Another chance for more kills for GodRx if he can pull this out. How high will this guy go by the time this map is done? He's going to go. He's just going to go. He pushes on in. That's going to be 2 in the round.
I like this. Just look at how decisive they are, right? He knows after that kill, just has to play his life. The bomb gets planted, and he gets away with his life.
Yeah, I think his teammate just backed him up, and then there's GodRx with the peak. I think he tallied on 3 more in that round. What is he? 14-3 if we could take a look at the stats as soon as we get into the round. But I think he knew his teammate put some shots into him top as well. But yeah, you said just so decisive. Just kill, insta-plant. Alex, he knew had him covered.
That's what I was saying, right? Just like, it just feels like he's so comfortable on the map. He knows exactly what he wants to do. Just feels like his team is on the same page, and we've heard that, right? Well, he's up to 13-3. Just how prepared this Minnesota team is, and you're seeing it happen in this game 5.
13-3. I didn't do very good math there.
It's all right.
I'd still just a ludicrous performance. Plus 10. Røkkr looked to close it out. Everything flooding towards him at B. He's going to have to potentially make the play here as he just backs him up with a stun. Looks to get in better position.
Yeah, walls are tough in this game sometimes. Walls are tough. Has to get over the bench. There's a first blood from Assault. That's bombed down as well. Now with 50 seconds left, bombed down all the way over there. Like, what are you supposed to do if you're Seattle? It's going to be so difficult to rotate back to A, and they're going to go for it because that's really the only play. Silly's going to spot 1 and just try to play his life, but here comes the push. They have to go through the archway. Silly, I love that. Just backs away. Asim's watching over him.
Come into the coffin.
Coming out of Minnesota.
Come into the coffin. Silly and Alex just bait them in, and there's the final round. 6-2. Dominated by Røkkr. The same result they got last time they played this map and mode in LA. And Røkkr, they move on to continue their fight inside of this tournament. And unfortunately for Seattle, it's another disappointing result.
Yeah, it is. And again, like
14 and 3.
I just love I love watching how Minnesota plays. It just feels like as soon as something happens, they know exactly what they want to do. And it just feels like it's easy for them, right? Like they're trading rounds back and forth. They figure out what mid-map adjustments they want to make, and it's just beautiful to watch.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. And for Seattle, it's like on defense they look comfortable sometimes, but as soon as stuff gets crazy in a mid-round, they just fall apart. Or if it's offense, like how many offensive rounds just didn't look good. Like just running out of time or indecisive or not sure where they want to go with it. And granted, when you're on offense and you pick a side and you're getting first blooded more often than not, it makes it even harder. But we'll take a look at the overall best of 5. How crazy it was. A 30-point hard point, a 6-3 search, then a draw that they replay for the game 3 ends up being an 18-point difference, a 1-point game 4. Like, wow, what a series it was. And there have been many crazy series for Seattle. They have been to so many game 5s this year, Joe. The problem is their search is so poor, they're not winning them.
Yeah, I think I saw their coach talk about the game fuel key to victory, about how it's always search and destroy. And I will guarantee you after this, because they lost 2 more search and destroys, it will still be around search and destroy for them.
Yeah, nothing's going to change until you can start pulling them out. But Seattle are out of the tournament. Minnesota Røkkr continue on. We still have 3 more matches to go today as we continue deeper into day 2. We hope you continue to love the coverage. But that'll do it for now. We'll be back after this quick break.